Well, hello. Thank you so much for joining me. We have a special show planned for you tonight because, of course, there is some big breaking news going on in Ukraine right now. Putin has announced a special military operation against Ukraine. And so it's important we talk about it. It's important that we figure out what is really going on and what we can expect to see happening moving forward. So, full disclosure, I didn't really see this coming originally, but I did start to suspect that this was going to happen within the last day, and that was because of some events that had unfolded. The United States, how the U.S. and Germany had reacted to Russia going into the Donbass regions and declaring them independent. So I did not expect, to be quite honest with you, that the United States and Germany would cut off Nord Stream 2. I actually thought that they would threaten, maybe sanction, but not actually shut it down and say, we're not going to even go forward with Nord Stream 2. That dramatically changed things. That was a dramatic escalation that then about 5-6 hours ago, I actually tweeted out on my Twitter account that we kind of, by doing that, left Russia with no choice but to actually go in and invade Ukraine. So I'm going to explain why all of that's going on and why all of this is about this is not only about NATO. Now, I know NATO is a giant aggression against Russia. They have national security concerns. And so, of course, they are pushing back on the idea that Ukraine would be joining NATO. But Ukraine is not in NATO today. Ukraine is not even on the verge of becoming part of NATO. There's no imminent vote or, that process is far out. So the big question then is, why would Putin and Russia want to invade Ukraine or conduct what they're calling a special military operation? Why would they want to do that today if this, over an idea of NATO? And that's because that's not really what any of this is about. It's always been about, and I will assert this again and again and again, this is about resources, energy resources. And it always is when it comes to foreign war in the United States. It's always about oil or gas, and this is about a natural gas pipeline. And what it is that, and I've talked about it here on this show before, that Russia provides Europe currently with about 40% of Europe's energy. That is a lot. That is a way more than what the United States is comfortable with. And so, Germany had actually then agreed to buy even more gas from Russia. This would actually boost Europe's buying of gas to 80%. Of their energy. Russia would be providing 80% of their energy if Nord Stream 2 pipeline had actually turned on. So this was a giant security threat for the United States. I mean, the U.S. believes that this is a problem. Europe wasn't really viewing it as much of a problem. Europe is not worried about a Russian invasion. Europe is, Russia is trying to actually become more like Europe. Actually, people in Russia, the Russian government, Putin at one point asked to join NATO. He was in discussions about joining NATO, and then those discussions fizzled out because the United States likes to have a boogeyman, Russia being a nice boogeyman for the United States. And so we have really sort of cut Russia out from being a part of Europe. And we've been bringing in all of these other countries, Poland and going into Ukraine and trying to bring them more into the European fold, but leaving Russia out. And the Russian people and Russia want nothing more but to be considered a European city, Moscow, a European city, and to be kind of embraced inside of the European Union, not necessarily a part of the European Union, but just wanting to be a part of the European culture. They view themselves as European. They have a lot of the same cultures. So that is something that they've sort of they've strived for. But that hasn't happened because historically, Russia has been an enemy. However, that has been changing over the years because Russia has been providing a lot of energy to Europe, and Europe has appreciated it, and Europe wants more of that energy. Europe tried to do a lot of the green energy, renewable sources, didn't work out so well. Really old infrastructure. If you try to go over to Europe, it's a difficult thing to do. So their infrastructure relies on, at this point, until they can modify it, will take them a long time to do. but their infrastructure relies on old school sources of energy. Russia provides a lot of it. So all of this was always about Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline. And over the years, the Obama administration had opposed the building of this pipeline. So this is the Nord Stream 1 gives Europe 40% of the energy. Nord Stream 2 would provide 80% of the energy. So the Nord Stream 1 already turning online was a problem. The United States didn't really like that very much, but okay, it was only 40% of the energy that could be replaced. Once you get to 80%, that's a real problem. So Obama opposed the building of Nord Stream 2. Trump also opposed the building of Nord Stream 2. Biden opposed the building of Nord Stream 2. This was a project that had been opposed by every single American administration, yet the project continued to move forward. Europe wants Nord Stream 2. Nord Stream 2 completed in September. So it is done. The pipeline is finished. When it was Obama, it was an idea. Then it started to become a reality. And then it became a full-fledged reality under Trump and now fully completed under Biden. So the United States is in last-ditch effort to stop this pipeline from turning on and giving Europe 80% of its energy from Russia.